welcome to the Nightly Nugent as we continue our week-long discussion into the invasion of America. Ted, you coined the phrase engineered recidivism. I think we're going to credit you with the phrase engineered invasion, which we're talking about all week. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a statistic. We've already talked about the 5 million illegal invaders that have poured into our country in just the last 1 year and 8 months. During that same time period from 2019, when Trump left office, to now, crime is up 25%. This is in the midst of, again, the open border, the defund the police rhetoric, the unchecked riots. In fact, it's not really unchecked riots. Our own vice president is on record saying, hey, if you get arrested for burning and looting, we'll bail you out. This is a crazy time, Ted. But what's your take on the increase in crime? And is there a correlation between the invasion at our southern border?
Well, certainly that's a rhetorical question. I appreciate that very much, Keith. And once again, I want to start out by being very positive and say happy hunting season, everybody. Shemaine and I are filming Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild. It's on the Pursuit channel 8 times a week. And the reason I bring that up, Keith, is because I fight like a son of a bitch every day. After I get in from my morning hunt and I do my chores and I vacuum, I do the laundry and I work on the fences and I fill the feeders, I raise hell with my elected employees and I do media and I give truth, logic, and common sense. I'm a real America's voice. And even on Ted Nugent's Spirit of the Wild, it's about the great outdoors lifestyle, but I also bring up the politics that affect the quality of life, including our outdoor lifestyle, private property rights, the Second Amendment, the right of we the people to manage our wildlife, not just the king. So this is all intertwined. And just like you said, the engineered recidivism where our Department of Justice celebrates violent crime and will literally bail out arsonists caught on film, destroying police cars in entire cities. It's engineered recidivism. I think the government likes keeping good people scared, and you do it by cultivating violent crime, engineered invasion. They like to keep us afraid, and we should be afraid, because an engineered invasion by military-age men from the enemies of America is a frightening consideration. And then the engineered homelessness, where kids have to sidestep feces and needles going to school in Portland and Seattle and Chicago and Baltimore. This is all an orchestrated deep state in collaboration with the New World Order global government. All you have to do is listen to the leaders of the United Nations as they demand that their puppet Joe Biden allows these Asians, the Middle East, the African military-age men that are so desperate. They don't have grocery stores. They don't have hot running water where they live in many instances. They lead a desperate, painful life. And the idea of coming to America and being rewarded with our tax dollars and given a driver's license so that they can get guns and then get even with America, it goes so deep that the crime is directly linked to all these terrorism conditions that Uncle Sam is perpetrating upon we the people. The homelessness, the invasion, the engineered violent crime, the celebration of violent crime. Here this guy with the baseball bat on film smashing someone's skull in New York. The jury didn't even give him any jail time. And I would love to reenact how I would have approached that jury with the baseball bat and convinced them that this monster should never, ever roam the streets with their families again. And you can well imagine how I would have demonstrated that. My point being is that all these engineered terrorisms by Uncle Sam can be reversed. And I would like to think that the best way, even though I constantly hammer about communicating with our elected employees, now is the time to lay down the groundwork to elect the only man, not perfect, but compared to Joe Biden, he's Michael the Archangel. Donald J. Trump is the bravest, strongest, most courageous, defiant, constitutional, law and order, we the people, America patriot that is available to reverse this engineered scourge by the current gangsters in our government. Everybody out there, I don't care what you might think of Donald Trump, There is no other man. I like Vivek, and I like some of the others. But compared to Donald Trump, he's the only guy. Now's the time to start communicating with our family and friends and people at deer camp and at church and at school and the hardware store and the restaurants. We need to get Donald Trump back in the White House with his constitutional crowbar. So, my friends, if you think that America is worth saving, then we have to convince everyone in our lives that Donald Trump is the only guy who can stop this criminal gangster that now infests the United States government.
One last thing I want to bring up before I let you go, Ted, is, everyone always talks about, we got to get guns off the streets. We got to get guns off the streets. They blame law-abiding citizens. If you go to a website called Gun Facts, they have all kinds of facts, but I want to give you a couple and then give you the last word. First of all, they claim less than 1% of all guns will be involved in a crime. Okay. They also claim that every year there are 400,000 life-threatening violent crimes that are prevented because of a good person having a gun. They say that there's over 2.5 million overall crimes that are prevented because a good person has a gun. So who's really perpetrating these crimes, these murders? They say it's criminals on criminals, which proves your statement of engineered recidivism. I'm going to give you 4 statistics. 71% of gun shop victims in America have a previous arrest record. That's the victim. 64% of the gun shop victims have been convicted of a crime. The victims average 11 prior arrests, and 73% of that group, they already knew their assailant. So this isn't good people although there are a lot of good people that get attacked. Do those statistics, Ted, final word, prove your statement that we're dealing with engineered recidivism?
Yeah, here's the bottom line. I'm sure our intrepid producer, Tim, will get the footage of this gentleman in Connecticut who pulled into his garage and was attacked by previously convicted and paroled carjackers, and they beat the living shit out of him to take one of his expensive cars. Look at that footage and you tell me that not having a pistol on you is a good idea. I've said it since the 1960s. I coined the statement, the colloquialism now, engineered recidivism. I coined that over 20 years ago. Here's the battle cry that I've always shouted loud and proud. Unarmed and helpless is unarmed and helpless. You can't have a day in your life, maybe even an hour in your life, where you will not cross paths with a violent felon who the system has let out to prey upon you. Everybody should join the United States Concealed Carry Association, USCCA. I think it's uscca.com. Tim will find out, put it on the screen. Certainly, we should all be members of the National Rifle Association and Gun Owners of America. Anybody who is unarmed and helpless, the released violent offenders would like to thank you for being an easy target. The concept of being unarmed and helpless is absolutely foreign to me. I have never been unarmed and helpless, except when I'm with the president and when I was in the White House, they even took away my nail clippers. But unarmed and helpless is unarmed and helpless, and we are surrounded by evildoers as guaranteed by our failed court and justice system. And if you don't have a gun and know how to use it, good luck today.
Again, go to tednugent.com and support Ted. Obviously, it's because of his generosity in part that we're able to do the Nightly Nuge. Go to hunternation.org. If you're not a member, it's tragic, really, because it's only if we join together can we beat back evil. Ted, what a great week we've had talking about the invasion of America. I hate it, but I love the fact that you're shedding light on it. Now, tomorrow, I want to take a completely different turn. I want to talk about celebrities in the news. I just want to talk about music. I don't even want to get into the politics of anything. Let's just have fun tomorrow night on the Friday Free For All of the Nightly Nooch. See you then.
When in doubt, whip it out. I got me a rock and roll band.